So, Stephen Lockhart is the Chief Technology Officer of the Star Systems Group of Companies and President of Star Systems America. He has over 25 years of experience in software development, including 22 years of worldwide experience working with RFID readers, transponders, and applications. He manages R&D, applications and solutions engineering, technical support, as well as product management. So, Stephen, I'm going to turn it over to you for your presentation on the connected transponder.
Bringing up the rear. I need Zhangwei to write a model to predict the departure of participants for the last presentation of the day. I think that would go hand in hand with his analysis. But thanks, Chris, and thanks, Leb. Thank you to my fellow presenters, and thank you to the attendees who are still sticking around. I'm Stephen Lockhart from Star Systems, and this presentation is going to be about the lowly transponder. The transponder has really been I've said it before, but I keep saying it, it's a very understated part of the tolling system and has been very resilient for a number of years. There's been a lot of really great work done on what the post-transponder world is going to look like. I've talked a lot about it today, so there've been some pretty interesting presentations on that. But this presentation is going to be about how the transponder can facilitate that transition. How can we leverage the transponder to help us transition to whatever that next step is? And also, how can we use the transponder to improve the connection between the toll operator and the driver, the customer? So just a quick word about Star Systems. We are a technology provider. We make transponders, RFID systems, readers, antennas for high performance vehicle identification systems, tolling, smart city, ITS, et cetera. We design, we manufacture, we test, and we support. Over the last 13 years or so, we've shipped about 70 million transponders worldwide for AVI applications. And we're very, very focused on optimizing the performance between a transponder and a reader, making sure that we have a very highly reliable and accurate RFID subsystem. And by focusing on this connection between the transponder and the reader, by extension, we are focused on optimizing the interaction between the toll road operator and the driver. And it's part of this connection that we're going to talk a little bit about over the next few minutes. So changes are afoot in the exciting world of electronic toll collection. As an industry, we're exploring some really interesting new ecosystems. Some of them aren't really new even anymore. B2X, GNSS, smartphone apps. These different solutions address a variety of issues in the tolling world. But like with a lot of things, especially in transportation, it's taking time. It's going to take time, and it will take time. Adoption rates are unclear. I mean, I saw the really interesting poll that Guillermo from Movis popped up there a little while ago. And just with everybody's feelings on when this transition is going to happen, it's sort of all over the map, really. It's going to take time. Some standards are still in work. Investment cycles are so long. Even for the current infrastructure that doesn't account for new technology, infrastructure cycles are very long. And the lack of, let's say, a dominant model not really being known adds a lot of uncertainty, and that uncertainty translates to risk for operators. And tolling operators, roadway operators are generally pretty risk averse for very, very good reason. They've got a job to do. And risking that for Technologies that are in a transitional mode is a challenge for them. So we know things are changing, but what is not changing? Even with technology, whatever that new technology is, whatever emerges, there's things that are not going to change. We've got to identify vehicles. We have to charge accurate tolls. We have to ensure compliance and enforcement. And we have to maintain this connection to the customer. So none of this is going to change. This is a focus of operators today and will continue to be a focus regardless of the technology that comes out down the road. So how can a transponder really help us, usher in this this new age of technology? We often think that the transponder is this silent passenger attached to your windshield. But what if it can do more? What if it can become a connected sensor or this bridge into the future technology of whatever that might end up being? It is also easy to forget that the transponder represents a direct connection between the operator and their customer. And this is a very important connection for most toll road operators. But the point of this discussion is that it can really evolve into being more than what we think of as just a tag. I mean, transponder technology has a lot going for it at the moment. Highly reliable, interoperable. Customers know how to use it today. Customers are very familiar with transponders. They're engaged with transponders. But what else can it do? What sort of enforcement options when it comes to express lanes and switchable transponders? And Unix just talked about vehicle occupancy detection. Very important. Try and get all that figured out so that we can properly help our customers and operators enforce the appropriate charging in express lanes and hot lanes. Pricing model applications. What can transponders do to help implement some of the interesting pricing models that operators want to apply to their systems? So what does that look like? How can a transponder do all this? How can we accomplish any of these things? How can we enhance the connection with the driver? How can we implement any of these interesting new features? There is some new technology in the transponder space. One is a dual frequency transponder in a sticker tag format, and by dual frequency, I'm talking about a UHF interface, which is our traditional infrastructure is based, at least in the US, is based on UHF RFID infrastructure. Another interface, though, is an HF or an NFC interface that allows the driver to interact directly with the transponder. So this is accomplished through a shared memory format so that an interaction from the driver can reach right into the data of the RFID transponder and inform what it's going to communicate back to the RFID system, roadside system, without the RFID roadside system having to make any changes whatsoever, all in a sticker form factor. Now, some of this can be done through an app-based feature, especially with an express lane that uses it commonly uses like a hard case switchable transponder where a driver has to physically manipulate the switch to indicate how many people are in the car, how many are in the car. This can be problematic from an enforcement point of view, very challenging from an enforcement point of view, because it really just relies on the driver to set the right switch position. But if you introduce an app that is directly communicating with the transponder, so an app in the hands of a driver. The driver has to use the app to set the switch position. This does a couple of things. It creates this physical connection between the driver and the transponder. And by using the app, they're also having a connection back with the toll road operator, the agency. And this begins a bidirectional communication between the two, which gives lots of opportunities to interact with the driver, perform verifications on the switch position, which is highly valuable in an express lane situation. Also, if you want to implement different pricing models through the app back into the transponder, this can all be facilitated through the NFC interface directly into the transponder. So these dual frequency type of transponders have a lot of interesting um, applications that I think toll road operators can take advantage of. A second technology is what we call a T2X, a transponder to everything. Transponder to everything is a merging of the existing RFID based transponder with V2X and whatever those V2X features the toll road operators find interesting, whether it's the tolling features, whether it's vehicle safety information, having those paired together into one product, one OBU, where the T2X can take advantage of the existing infrastructure while also providing a cost-effective way to modernize services in places where retrofitting is problematic or costly, or you're still in a wait and see approach to see see how the V2X is going to be adopted by your users. The nice thing about T2X is it's totally coexists with V2X. It in no way is trying to supplant it. It works seamlessly with V2X. It's very complementary to your existing infrastructure, and also allows you to implement some more of these pricing models that were talked about a little bit earlier. So it really is a kind of a bridge to the future, so to speak. And on the other side, so we talked a little bit about the tolling. Another aspect of T2X is it also has the ability to integrate with the vehicle itself. So a T2X module can integrate directly with the vehicle computer, pull information out of the vehicle, put it into the RFID transponder, communicate that information either through V2X or through the RFID interface back to the tolling system, or in the case of a fleet management system, could be also very useful there. So T2X is this transitional piece of technology to help us get from where we are here in this heavy RFID based infrastructure to whatever we're going to end up being down the road. So just to reiterate, connected tags are a transitional technology, and as a technology provider, our job is to really work with the tolling industry to make sure that we're developing products that our customers need. And we feel that this connected tag concept allows us to leverage the existing infrastructure while allowing operators to engage in V2X or whatever future technology they want at their own pace, and at the same time enhancing that connection with the driver, because at the end of the day, the connection to the driver is very, very important from just a customer satisfaction point of view and a operational point of view with the agencies. Short and sweet. So I'm Stephen Lockhart with Star Systems. We talked just a little bit about using connected tags as a transitional technology from where we are here today in a sort of a heavy RFID based infrastructure to whatever we're going to become down the road, whether it's V2X, whether it's GPS, whether it's something else. There is going to be a transitional period. quite frankly, I think it's going to be a lengthy transitional period. And these types of technology, the transponder-based technology, are here to really help usher in that new age. So, thank you.
Thank you very much, Stephen. I think that it was very interesting. You know, we were just talking recently, yesterday, I think it was, kind of about this. You know, when will we see this transition? How long is this transition going to take? You know, did you find the results of the poll for the audience in session
Yeah,
four interesting, or kind of
very
along the
interesting. I
lines of
was
what you
on.
expect? Did you think it would be maybe skewed one way more than the other versus kind of split across the categories of timeframes?
I was surprised at the results of the first question. The first
Hmm.
question was, I think, basically just about transponders. When are they going to go away?
Yeah.
And make no mistake, they're going to go away, right? I'm a transponder manufacturer, and I'm aware of this. Um, but the question is always the time, and Guillermo had broken it into, I think, into thirds, really, and it broke down in thirds on the responses, which I thought was very interesting. But yeah, it's just you know how long the transition takes. I mean, it's who can say? I'm not the right one to predict. Autonomous vehicles. 5 years ago, I didn't realize we'd have them running around all over the place today. I thought there'd be other hurdles, more from a
Hmm.
regulatory point of view, that would prevent that. So it can happen quicker. Um, the point that we as a technology provider try to make sure we're focused on is accommodating that change at the rate that our customers want to adopt to that, and making sure that they have the products that they need to make that transition. And so that's our job as a technology provider.
Great. Let's see. I just saw a
Very,
question pop
very good
up. Let's see
question
if,
just came in.
yes, I see that. So, Stephen, do you think the threat of spectrum privatization will affect the transition of transponders?
Certainly seems, at least that is the feeling right now in the industry. Uh, we're talking about the next nav problem, I think, is what
That's what
Donovan
I would think. Yes.
Donovan is talking about here. Yeah, I mean, if NextNav is successful, and it sort of it comes and goes, whether they're looks like they're going to be successful or not. I mean, they could very well be successful. It's going to be problematic for RFID technologies in general. And the question of adapting to that, there's, the way the protocols are split up right now, some protocols will have an easier time adapting to it than others, but all of us are going to have costs, significant costs associated with accommodating that, whatever that spectrum impact is. So, the question of will that speed up the transition to a new dominant non-transponder technology could very well. The problem at the moment with a lot of V2X for tolling anyway is just cost. I mean, the cost to revamp the infrastructure, the cost to get the new modules out into cars, and the cost of the modules themselves are at the moment quite high, quite high. If you want to retrofit a car with a V2X module, I mean, it's a lot. So there would be some changes. Maybe the privatization, well, the change in the reallocation of the spectrum, they sort of put it, might impact that. But you know, I wish I could say definitively.
All right. Well, thank
Or
you, Stephen. One more question did come in quickly at the end, but if you wouldn't mind just having a look in the Q&A and putting in an answer for that,
Sure.
we'll turn things back to Lev here.
absolutely. Actually, I
But
wouldn't mind, Stephen. I think you can brief. Well, you're the last presenter of the day. If you want to address it, the question is from Konstantinos Sakos. For the dual frequency
Ah,
tag, what is the
Constantinos.
technology of the second frequency? I think you kind of touched on it, but can you
Yeah, it's
reiterate it one more
HF.
time?
It's HF/NFC. So it's NFC is a high frequency protocol. But it's just an NFC just on your phone. You know, you use your phone to talk to, or any NFC handheld device, or yeah, HF.
Are there any trials yet, Stephen, using this dual frequency transponder? Any
Yeah,
pilots?
we're
What's your
working
next
with
step?
that's exactly the next step. So we're working with a couple partners that are testing it. You know, the nice thing about it is it is a sticker tag at the end of the day, so it makes it easier, very easy to do, and low cost to do trials and testing and get them out to the population uh, for testing. So that's yeah, we're working with a couple folks right now.
Look forward to hearing more on that. So I think we had great engagement throughout, and thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much for the session and the presentation.
You bet. Thanks, guys.